Greetings, I'm Erik Korman, here at the Sorrento Hotel for the Seattle International Film Festival. I'm about to interview Ewan McGregor and director Mike Mills. They just did a movie called Beginners, and it's about a guy who finds out that after his parents have been married for 45 years, his dad was gay. And his dad tells him this after his mom dies of cancer. So the dad comes out and he lives a fully engaged gay life, gets a younger boyfriend, and then he dies 5 years after that. And this is a true story. It's actually Mike's own parents who went through this. And he decided this will make it a credible movie. It has universal themes about what is important about life and the universe and how to engage with the world and what is love. And he thought no one better than Ewan McGregor would play himself. At what point did you realize that this is going to be a great feature film?
I still haven't, but well, I think when my dad was out and when he was towards the end of his life, I didn't want him to go away, and also we were having such an intense, hot conversations about love and relationships. And one night he was explaining to me my parents' marriage, and he said, well, your mother would argue with me, but I think she took off her Jewish badge and I took off my gay badge, and we joined like the mainstream American story. And that to me was like, whoa, I can see how to tell this in a much bigger way. It's very intimate, it's about this family, but it's also about 1955 for all of us, and 1938 and 1978. And I like that. I like thinking like that.
How did you pick Ewan to be you as Oliver? Because that's such a personal thing. I mean, if I were to pick someone to play me, I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah, well, that whole question just gives me vertigo. I really don't. I don't think of him that way. And when I watch the movie, I really like, oh, Ewan. I love Ewan in the movie, and Ewan is Oliver. It's great. I never go back to Mike. Obviously, it's me. Obviously, it came from my perspective. But the only way I can make this is that I'm making a story. I'm thinking about the audience. I'm not really thinking about myself too much. I'm mining myself. I'm exploiting things I know, but to tell a story. So I don't know. I mean, I needed this person to match, or be able to do things that Oliver does. But maybe I'm just in crazy denial, but I never go back to Mike, And Ewan was amazingly, before I met him, I thought, wow, this guy totally goes for it. Like watching Velvet Goldmine, watching Young Adam, watching so many films, like beyond being a great naturalistic actor, which I really wanted the film to be like really real and subtle, beyond that, like he makes himself really emotionally vulnerable. Like you feel like something's in his blood, something's really going on with the story. So before I knew how great he was, I was like guessing. I was like, that seems right. Hopefully that's what it is,
Yeah, it did feel so authentic, and the way that you handled time and the conversations that you had with your father, Christopher Plummer. How did you get in that mindset of being someone who was not all that involved or engaged in the world? Because if anything, your life is passionate. The things that you've done are just so amazing, from your motorcycle trips to the movies you've been in and your experiences with UNICEF and all of that. Did you have to sort of forget all of that to become Oliver, to become Mike, as it were?
No, I think it's a sort of miscomprehension that Oliver's not present in any way. I think he really is. I think we see him, we get to know Oliver when there's a lot of things going on in his life, and his father comes out to him. He's looking back at his childhood and trying to figure out what that means to his life, and reflects in reference to his own life. And then in the other story, he's lost his father. He's in the depth of grief.
Yeah.
It's 2.5 months, 3 months after his father dies, and so we're seeing him in a particular time in his life. I mean, I never thought that I was playing somebody who wasn't like vibrant and in the world. It's just in some of the scenes he's very sad. He's very sad because he lost his dad, and we see him drawing, and we see him figuring things out, and we see him in very kind of private, quiet times, I guess. And I never felt that he was a character who wasn't didn't take part in the world at all. I don't think you think of him that way, either, do you? No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you were not like that either. You were engaged, sort of.
He is engaged.
Are you a member of the
He
world?
is engaged.
Yeah.
I think he's very engaged. If you ever been through like a parent dying or anything like that, it's very intense. It's very, you are in this very, maybe a little subdued or in a deep emotional place, but that's still in the world, vibrant, engaged. He's very engaged with his dad. He's very engaged with the girl, I think, and the dog.
Now, would you say that your own life mirrors that? I know your relationship with Miranda July, the performance artist, and she's not exactly the same as.
Yeah, it's not Oliver and Anna isn't me and Miranda.
Right.
It's like me. It's for sure emotional issues that I know about in relationships, and it's sort of like me and so many men and women I've known in a way before Miranda. You know, not just in terms of like romantic relationships, but just all my generation. I feel like shares a lot of those issues about love and will love work out for me? Will love sustain for me?